Imagine a world where diseases like cancer, Alzheimer's, and even the common cold are things of the past. Sounds like science fiction, right? But what if it could become reality? Welcome to the cutting-edge world of science and technology, where the impossible is becoming possible. This isn't about magic potions or miracle cures. No, we're talking about something far more compelling, altering our very genetic code to eradicate diseases. That's right, by making changes to our DNA, the blueprint of life itself, we could revolutionize healthcare as we know it. Picture this. A doctor, instead of prescribing a cocktail of drugs, simply tweaks your DNA to strengthen your body's resistance against diseases. It might sound like a plot straight out of a science fiction novel, but this scenario could become a reality sooner than you think. This is the power of genome editing, a scientific technique that allows us to modify DNA, the genetic material in an organism's cells. Genome editing has the potential to prevent and possibly cure a variety of genetic disorders, from blood diseases like sickle cell anemia to more complex conditions like heart disease. But as with any new frontier, the road to a disease-free world is not without its challenges. There are technical hurdles to overcome, ethical dilemmas to navigate, and societal implications to consider. Genome editing holds immense potential, but it also raises profound questions about the nature of life itself. So, fasten your seatbelts, because we're about to embark on a fascinating journey into the world of genome editing. We'll explore how it works, its potential benefits, and the challenges we face in harnessing its power. We'll delve into the science behind it, the ethical issues it raises, and the impact it could have on our future. So, what exactly is this game changer? It's called genome editing, and it could be the key to our future health. Genome editing might sound complicated, but it's actually quite simple when you break it down. Let's start with the basics. Genomes are like the instruction manuals for life. They're made up of DNA, which is a long, twisted, ladder-like structure composed of 4 types of molecules called nucleotides. These nucleotides form pairs, and it's the sequence of these pairs that contains the instructions for building and maintaining an organism. Now, imagine your genome as a massive book. Each letter corresponds to a nucleotide, and the sentences formed by these letters are your genes. Your genes dictate everything from your eye color to your height, and even your susceptibility to certain diseases. But what if we could rewrite parts of that book? That's where genome editing comes in. Scientists use tools, the most famous of which is called CRISPR-Cas9, to cut the DNA at specific points and add, remove, or replace sections. In a nutshell, it's like using a word processor's find and replace function, but for your DNA. But here's where it gets tricky. Each change we make could have unexpected consequences because genes often influence more than one characteristic. It's like pulling at a thread in a tapestry. Change one part, and the whole picture can shift. Imagine you have a gene that makes you more likely to develop a certain disease. Scientists could, in theory, edit that gene to reduce your risk. But that same gene might also play a role in something beneficial, like your ability to process certain nutrients. So, editing it could unintentionally cause other health problems. Moreover, changes made to the genome can be inherited. This means that any alterations we make could affect not just the individual, but their descendants too. It's a bit like editing a family heirloom. The changes you make will be passed down to future generations. So, by changing our DNA, we could potentially change our health. But is it really that simple? As with any powerful tool, genome editing comes with its own set of pros and cons. Imagine the possibility of a world where some of the most devastating genetic diseases become a thing of the past. Cystic fibrosis, sickle cell anemia, and even certain types of cancer could be eradicated through the manipulation of our very genetic code. This is the promise of genome editing, a revolutionary technology that could transform the future of human health. Through the precise alteration of specific genes, we could potentially enhance our immunity, increase our lifespan, and even improve our cognitive abilities. The benefits of such a technology are immense. This could be the dawn of a new era, where the human body is no longer at the mercy of genetic lottery, but rather a canvas for scientific innovation. But let's not get carried away by these tantalizing possibilities just yet. This powerful tool, like a double-edged sword, also carries risks and uncertainties. The perturbation of our genetic code is not a task to be taken lightly. The human genome is an intricate, delicately balanced structure. Any changes we make could have unforeseen consequences, potentially causing more harm than good. Furthermore, there are profound ethical considerations that we must grapple with. The idea of altering human DNA raises questions about the very essence of what it means to be human. If we have the power to change our genes, where do we draw the line? Who gets to decide what constitutes an improvement and what is a defect? And what about the potential for misuse of this technology? Moreover, there are safety concerns. While genome editing in the lab is one thing, applying it to living humans is quite another. We are still in the early stages of understanding the full implications of genome editing. Until we have a thorough understanding of the risks, we must proceed with caution. The power to change our genetic code is immense, but so are the responsibilities. As we stand on the brink of this new frontier, we must remember that with great power comes great responsibility. The promise of genome editing is exciting, but we must navigate this path with care, wisdom, and a deep respect for the complexity of life itself. Genome editing raises questions about ethics and the future of humanity. As we delve deeper into the intricacies of this cutting-edge science, we can't help but ponder the moral implications that it brings along. One of the greatest ethical quandaries lies in the question of who gets to play God. Who gets to decide which genes are edited and which are left untouched? Picture this: a world where parents could choose their child's traits like hair color, eye color, or even intelligence. It sounds like something straight out of a science fiction novel, doesn't it? But with genome editing, this could become a reality. However, this brings us to the question of fairness. Would this lead to a society where the rich can afford designer babies, thereby widening the gap between the haves and have-nots? Then, there's the potential for misuse. Genome editing is powerful. It has the potential to eradicate genetic disorders and diseases, but what if it falls into the wrong hands? What if it's used for nefarious purposes, like creating super soldiers or a master race? It's a chilling thought, isn't it? Moreover, there's the issue of unintended consequences. Even with the best intentions, editing one gene could have a domino effect on others, leading to unforeseen and possibly harmful effects. After all, our understanding of the human genome, while extensive, is not complete. Another ethical issue revolves around consent. If parents decide to edit their unborn child's genes, the child has no say in the matter. Is it right to make such a monumental decision on someone else's behalf? These are just some of the ethical dilemmas surrounding genome editing. They aren't easy to answer, and they require careful thought and discussion. As we stand on the brink of a genetic revolution, we must carefully consider not just what we can do, but what we should do. So, where do we go from here? What does the future hold for genome editing? As we stand on the precipice of a new era in medical science, these are the questions that echo in the minds of scientists, ethicists, and curious minds alike. The current state of genome editing is like a rapidly developing cityscape with new buildings of knowledge and understanding being constructed every day. We're seeing advancements that were once the stuff of science fiction become reality. Just imagine, conditions that have plagued humanity for centuries could be eradicated before they even begin. We're talking about potential cures for genetic diseases like Huntington's, cystic fibrosis, and even some forms of cancer. But the future of genome editing isn't just about curing diseases. There's potential for so much more. We could enhance our physical abilities, increase our lifespan, even alter our appearance. It's like we've been handed the keys to our own evolution. However, with great power comes great responsibility. As we move forward, the ethical implications of genome editing become more and more salient. It's essential that we remember to tread carefully. We must ensure that these advancements are used for the betterment of all, not just a select few. We must remember to respect the natural diversity of the human race. We're entering a brave new world, one where we have the power to shape our own destiny. But it's important to remember that genome editing, like all scientific advancements, is a tool. It's how we use that tool that will define our future. We must also remember that while genome editing holds great promise, it also holds potential risks. We're still learning about the complexities of the human genome, and there is much we don't yet understand. It's important that we approach this new era with both excitement and caution. As we continue to unlock the secrets of our DNA, we must tread carefully, but the possibilities for our health and our future are truly astounding.